Tēnā rā tātou katoa. Welcome to our Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board hui today. And I'll just, if it's all right, Matua, Doug, would you open this?
Tēnā rā tātou. Kauri tātou ki te matua te tamaiti wairua tapu. Are mai te wairua tapu whakuria ki rote o mātani ngāku te kāpura te aro me te mārumaka. Kia kaha e mātai te mau i ngā mahi, hei whakagloria tau ingoa tapu rau atu ki ringo huki te mata te whenua. Ai kia noho tai ai kia kua tara whakamutika. Mātai mātou ariki mahi e Krito. Amen. Tēnā rā tātou.
Tēnā matua. So first we'll just go to the apologies. Do we have any apologies? Scarlett Mokuraka is an apology.
Yes.
And Melissa Woods as our coordinator is an apology. And Matua Doug made it quickly, so thank you. And do we have any declarations of interest from our members? Pertinent to the agenda today? So first,
I'll move the apology.
First, we'll go to moving the apologies. Is that you, Councillor Gizzard?
Yeah, I'll move the apologies. Second that.
Thank you. Everybody say aye.
Aye.
Anyone say no? Kapai. And then we'll go to public forum. Who do we have here for public forum?
So far, Madam Chair, none of the people in our audience are public forum. They are either deputations or speaking on behalf of funding applications.
So we will go to our deputations. Now, so just a reminder for the deputations, if you are an individual speaking, then you have up to 5 minutes. And if you leave us time for questions, then we can ask questions at the end of that. So do we have Willie Maihi here?
He is joining through the chair. He is joining us online and hasn't arrived yet. Take him down.
Do we have Lindy and Nick Atkinson from Kaikohe Playground?
We have Lindy. We're here.
Kia ora. Now you're welcome to join the table or to stand up and speak or whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, I'll just stand here. Okay, the Kaikohe Community Association, of which we are both members, applied last year to the council for some funding for a playground, perhaps not for funding for a playground. We asked if they could install one because we have nothing for youth in our town. And obviously that was turned down because there was no funding available and the long-term plan is much reduced. So we decided that we would try to pursue this ourselves. We've come to the realisation that our vision has to be severely limited by the amount of money we're likely to get. Things are very expensive, as I'm sure you're aware. So firstly, we need council or community board approval. We're hoping to put the playground in a position beside the tennis courts rather than down in Pukanga, which can be very cold and damp in the winter and is a little bit more secluded. We want to put them by the tennis courts in the town so that perhaps families with multiple age children can have activities nearby. It's open and accessible and visible. So that's our area. We're asking for permission to put the playground there and approval, but we also would like ongoing agreement from council to take over the maintenance and inspections and whatever else is required once it's installed. As a small association, we can't afford to do that ourselves, and we may very well pitch you up for some money at some point, if not today. We've got $10,000 of our own to put towards the project, but we're currently looking at about $41,000 for the playground, which was very simple. 2 swings and a very, very small climbing frame slide. We've gone for the wooden option, not our preference, because it's a bit more prone to vandalism than the metal one, but we can afford it. So that makes a big difference. And the area would be about 9 by 10 metres, thereabouts, I think. So I think some quotes and pictures of the sort of thing that we're looking at. What else do we have to say?
But I'm Karen and I'm the treasurer. We have applied to the Oxford Sports Trust and unfortunately that was unsuccessful. But I have spoken to them and asked them, can we reapply? And they did say, yes, we could reapply. We asked, was it a large amount of money that we had applied for? Yes, it was. It was $31,000. She said to me at Oxford Sports Trust that if that was a lesser amount, maybe it may be more favourable. But we are able to reapply, which is very promising. We still have got Hub Charity, Foundation North and the Lotteries Commission, but we would like some more money to add to our $10,000 to say to these organisations, this is what we've already got. And I'm quite happy to make those applications, very much so. So, yeah, so a contribution to our $10,000 would be greatly appreciated.
Should just perhaps mention the playground we're looking at putting in will be more aimed towards the younger children because there is a playground for older children. It's on the college grounds. It's not fenced in, so it is accessible, but it is nearby to classrooms, so really not appropriate for families to play during the day, during a school day. So we're looking at something for the smaller children to do everything anyway, so that's what it is.
I think you'll appreciate we do have a playground in primary school, but like all primary schools these days, they're all locked off and they're not available after school.
Thank you very much. And we have run out of time, but if we have any questions, quickly, I'll take questions for our Kaikohe playground people.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. And actually, I do have a question. Who owns the bit of whenua that you are? Council does.
Which is why we're asking for your permission.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we do have Willie Mikey online for his deputation. Kia ora, matua Willie. We can't hear you. You're muted.
At the top of the screen, you should have a picture of a microphone.
We go. Thank you.
Kia ora. Hi, tēnā koe matua. Yes. What would you like to speak with us? It's your time now.
Right. Sorry, my apologies. Look, through the chair, I take it everybody's received the deputation and read it?
Aye.
Okay. No disrespect to the board here. I'd like to say that I disagree with our deputation being put towards you. However, Moko has suggested that it come to you. So it's been many years, as you can see. And I'm a bit out of a loss why he's put it back to the community board. Again, no disrespect to you people here, especially the ones who have just come on board. As you see, we haven't had any traction whatsoever from the past community board members. So, if I can, through the board, as you read our deputation there, I'm going to ask, what do you suggest is a pathway forward for our kaupapa, the Maori village? There's a list of other things there, as you can see, but it's backlogged, as you can appreciate. And there's so many things that we've kept resilient and kept going on with other projects. But our main project has been to build a Māori village for tourism, education, etc., etc. There's a few there would know where we're looking at, the location, etc. So yes, through the chair, I'd like to ask, what do you think's the best way forward for us?
Can you, there's so many new people in the room, and we have received your deputation last night. Are you able to give us a little bit more information about your vision, Matua?
Yeah, of course I can. I think John will be more of help in that direction once we finish our koro. It's been there for 21 years, and as I said, we want to build a Māori village down at the old landfill, as well as Mahi Memorial Park. That's next door to Papa Hawaii building. And that is the the whole concept in a nutshell. But unfortunately, we've been challenged, which we have met over the years, all the challenges put to us by council. And yeah, we're just trying to find a way to move forward. And as Moko has sent it to you, to the community board, I asked the community board. Obviously, you've spoken with Moko about this, otherwise it wouldn't be before you. Again, no disrespect to you guys. So I'm asking the question, how do we move forward? I have my own decision, which I'll give to you. If you cannot give me an answer, then I'll just carry on with what I've got in mind.
Willie, it's your time to do the presentation. It's not for us actually to be giving answers. We can give an answer formally a bit later. So if you've got ideas, do present that now, please.
Okay, I can do that. So what we're looking at is the lease proposal. This is taking 21 years, as you can see on my deputation. So we're asking for a lease, a long-term lease of 20 years. Then we can address all those projects you've got in front of you. That's the best thing way forward that we can see to move our projects forward. Unfortunately, the lease proposal has been met with lies, etc., by our council staff. So again, as Moko has put our kaupapa to you, I ask you, are you in a position to grant us a lease?
No, the community board is not in the position to grant a lease at this point.
Well, there you are. There you are. So how do we move forward? Sorry?
So Willie, the community board hears to listen to you, and then based on what they hear, they can make a recommendation to council, and that's the process that we go through. So we can get council to give a response to all of that. But I think there's a question here for you as well.
Yeah, we're just wondering whether have you read the report that comes from Fraser Thomas? Have you read that report?
I was there when we did the actual testing. I know full well what the report means. But I give you an example with what Whangarei have done, Whangarei Regional Council, with their landfill. So there's no reason why we cannot do this.
Yes, my understanding is that there is more testing to be done. So we're not in a position to even discuss a lease until the testing has been done on that site. That's where I understand we're at the moment.
I'd like to lease Mahi Memorial Park as a start and look at the landfill once you've done your testing.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
We'd like to lease Mahi Memorial Park, the long term as I've suggested, for now until you've done your testing. But look, you need to open yourselves up to what's happened to down Whangarei. Their landfill is 20 times bigger than ours, and the methane content is still evident today, whereas ours, there's nothing. So, I suggest do your testing again, and we would like to be there, preferably with someone else, if that's okay. How long is that going to take? Because I understand councils are going to be shut down. Is that correct? Next year.
Far North District Council is not going to be shut down, to my knowledge. Can you be sure of that point? Can you be 100% sure on that? Can you assure me, Madam Chairman?
Really, over Christmas break, there's always action going on, so that will continue. But there generally it's a bit of a longer period between meetings. But in terms of the overall government, if you're referring to government changes and things, then there's nothing regarding Far North District Council being shut down.
Yeah, kia ora, John, but forgive me for thinking the other way, because governments are operating their own way, and we see you guys being shut down. Hopefully not, because what that does is just pushes our kaupapa back further, which is why I want this lease done ASAP.
Now, just go to our members and councillors to see if you have any questions for Mr. Maihi.
Sure.
And what I think we can do is ask if staff can speed up the testing and gathering of data to come back. And until that's done, there's been a resolution that no leases will be granted. We are waiting on testing, but we can ask
on
for
the landfill. Sorry, Madam Chairman, that's on the landfill, not Maihi Park.
Okay. All right then, so there's no more questions.
So Maihi Park, we'll look at a lease for Maihi Park for now, and we'll ask the board for your support for that.
Well, you will need to know more about it through a report, Matua. Okay?
I think the report. Sorry, I think the board clearly, the findings clearly state that Maihi Park has no issues whatsoever with health and safety at all.
All right. So somebody will be in touch to get more information from you, Matua. So thank you for your time. Thank you for coming online. And we're going to move on to the next deputation now. So thank you, Matua. And the next deputation is from Mihi Puriri and Hayley Paul, Kaikohe District, Sportville. Sorry?
And Lee Ingle.
And Lee Ingle. Thank you.
Kia ora tātou katoa. First off, I'd like to congratulate you all for becoming council members and for being voted in. I know it's a big job, so ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa. Ko waio, ko Hayley Paul tōku ingoa. I'm from Kaikohe, born and raised in Kaikohe, came to school in Kaikohe. I'm here on behalf of Kaikohe Districts in Sportsville to reintroduce ourselves to the sport who may or may not know us, and to let you know of the things that we are looking to do this year and going forward. So yes, I'm Hayley Paul. This is Lee Ingle, one of our other members, and I'm going to hand the time over to Mihi, knowing that we only got 5 minutes.
My name is Mihi Puriri. I am the newly appointed Operations Manager at Kaikohe District Sportsville. I have a background in strength conditioning and rehabilitation of professional athletes, developing pathways for aspiring athletes, and also running sports events and community activations to get those less inclined to participate in structured sports into movement. I've got a whole lot of innovative ideas which I want to start rolling out through Kaikohe. On a personal note, I whakapapa to Te Matarahu, so in Hokianga, I've got an invested interest in improving health outcomes for our hapu and for our whānau. Before we can start doing any of those, we have identified 3 things that we really need done around Lindblad Park and Papahawaii, just to generate more income, more capacity and more capability within what we've already got going. The first is a seating solution for Kaikohe. At the moment, we neither have benches for athletes while we're resting between halves, nor do we have stadium or any seating for people who are coming along to support whānau, kaumātua koea. And getting something like that, it would not only increase the comfort levels of everyone, but also acknowledge the sacrifices that a lot of our whānau make. They're all making sacrifices for their children to be participating in these sports. We know they're not cheap, so we need to create an environment which is conducive to the family being welcomed and able to stay through games, through tournaments or through coaching. Secondly, we are wanting some stadium grade carpet tiles, and that would lend ourselves to diversifying our income. Right now, our income's generated solely through member affiliation fees, of which we've got 10 codes, and also venue hire fees. And at times they meet or they don't quite meet our operating expenses. If we were able to get some more large-scale events similar to the Kaikohe that we've had for the last 2 years, we could open ourselves up to other sporting events, other cultural events, and things like Te Wānanga Aotearoa graduation ceremonies, things like career and training expos for FNDC, given that we're a very central point in Hokianga. And the third thing that we're seeking support for is an upgrade of the Lingard Park pavilion. It's really outdated. We want to create a space where the codes are proud of visiting things back with the instructions, where it's fit for purpose to hire out for birthdays, to hire out for celebrations, prize givings, whatever that is, not only within the community codes, but also for the extended community. So we're here today just hoping you can help us. We will be seeking funding at some point. We have our AGM next month. We will be building up our strategic plan and our funding plan. But given the opportunity to come along today, we thought we'll put ourselves on the radar and hopefully seek some support from you.
People have any questions?
I've got a couple. So is that seating solution indoors and outdoors?
Primarily indoors. That's what we're looking for in the first instance. Seats around things like the netball courts would be fantastic, but we really need to get something going in Papahuaki so we can open up avenues for more coaching clinics and things. Because we do generate income from venue fees for Papahuaki, the netball courts are free to use.
Okay, and those carpet tiles that you're talking about, do you know how much the cultural festival that's been, how much they had to spend to hire that carpet last time?
About 14,000.
Mihi, thank you, and hello, Lee and so on, and thanks for your good work. As you probably know, I've been on there for a while. So what carpet tiles, if I were to say to you, give the priorities, which would you prioritise out of that three? And I've got a few questions after that as well.
The carpet tiles.
Absolutely, the carpet tiles. That allows us to get more income.
Is there space inside for seating? Because we did cut back the building's footprint to make, because of cutting the cloth to actually get within the budget, which was quite strict on us. But there was, and it was designed to be able to be extended. Have you done, so there's a question here, have you done the work to look at what's the best option there that you'd like to go forward on?
I inherited one quote for seating, which is a 3-tier style, which can go at either end of the larger court. We also have the capacity for up to 90 people upstairs. So at the moment I'm investigating some seating with a much sharper gradient, so those at the top can look down as opposed to looking forward to view as well.
That's good, thank you.
Any further questions? And that's time. Thank you so much. And we have more deputations, and I bet we have Hayley. all
For Hokianga.
for Hokianga sports.
Yeah, kia ora tātou anō. I'm here today to present an idea. So myself, along with a good friend of mine, Alice Davis, keen to bring together a project that focuses on our rangatahi but caters for age groups in Hokianga. So the idea, you might ask, is a mara hupara walking track, circuit training track for our people of Hokianga. We've investigated a little bit. So we've identified a strip of land that's below Rawene School and above the Rawene School field. So the idea of having a mara hupara can tell our stories, our pūrākau of Rawene, of Hokianga, and it can connect our people back to the area. It also can connect the visitors of the area to the what else? It would be a nice physical, it's a way to connect physically and increase our well-being. We're happy to collaborate with anybody, the Far North District Council, Healthy Families. Even though Healthy Families are great at implementing, installing mara hupara, it's just an idea we're keen to get council support on, and have spoken to the school community board as well, Rawene School Community Board, who are open to the idea of seeing if it's a viable space there between the school and the school field. We've selected that area because it has a natural hilly landscape, and it has been used there before as a motorbike track for one of our Christmas in the Park events way back in the days. It also has access to the space, and yeah, we're just here to share the idea to see if the council are keen to invest in this idea for our community. We're open to working with anybody who is keen to see this idea come to fruition. We just know that the benefits of this mara hupara walking track, pump track, sorry. I forgot to say the pump track. That's the main thing for our rangatahi, main line for our rangatahi. So we're keen to work with whoever we need to get this idea to come to fruition. Yeah, that's the idea. I just brought it to the table to share. If you have the keen people who are ready to drive it, and yeah, that's where we are at this stage.
Yes, so take questions. We'll start with Dennis, then we'll come to we'll start with Member Orme, and then we'll come to Councillor Vusic.
Kia ora, Dennis.
Sure. So I'm interested in exercise. How many people do you think will utilise this? How many active walkers we've got in that area?
Well, we have that active elderly woman. It's just another venue for them to use. We have a lot of codes in Hokianga that utilise different tracks without Hokianga. So we have the karate, you know what groups say.
Yeah.
Karate, Kaikohe. There will be heaps, all our kids that just meander around the Rawene. It's also a central space for Rawene, so central space for the ferry to come in every hour. And it will be just a bright, encouraging space for our young people to come to and be excited to come to. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we have Councillor
Just a quick question. It's the first I've heard of that idea. I think it's a great idea. There's certainly been other connections as well as others doing those. Been talking to her with the young people and what we can do. Can you provide more information? Because I'd like to know where it's going to be, what it would look like, and also bearing in mind with the other thoughts that people had with cycling and walking, through to the ferry and so on.
It's just an idea at this stage. But what I will tell you is that I have time to put into the project. I just come off the back of the Bay of Islands, revitalising the Bay of Islands Netball Centre, increasing the number 2 years in a row, 8 teams each year. So now I've handed them over to a member who you should know, Tanya Proctor. She's the new chair of Bay of Islands Netball. So I have energy to put into this project. Myself and Alice Davis, who's brilliant at applying for funding, brilliant at helping drive the waka. But I just see it as a space that is vibrant, that has a picnic table, that has somewhere for our kids to park their bikes, for people to walk, to connect the town to this bike track as something for our tourists to come to as well.
I think, sorry, I think it's a great idea, and I'm not saying give the information today, but
Yeah.
follow it up. Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely. If it's an idea that the council are willing to invest in, we'll definitely do the work to find these solutions.
I'm being told that our community board coordinator can link with you to help you find the right people to work with, and the timing is very good. All of these projects come into the table because we are moving into identifying projects that we would be putting up to council to attempt to get into the long-term plan. So there's no promises, but I think there's a lot of interest. Are there any other questions for Hayley?
Just one. Is the whenua owned by the kura?
So some of it is owned by the kura police. So we'll just have to check to see if it's a viable space. There's a second one we're thinking about, but we'll have to get hapu consent and have a consultation with the hapu.
Tēnā koe, Hayley. Thank you so much.
No mihi.
So we're going to move to our speakers to the funding applications. Do we have Pip Joe? Kia ora, Pip.
You want to come and stand with me, Kate? Hi, I'm Pip. I'm the treasurer of our Kaikohe Polocross Club that has been going for approximately 40 odd years. And this is Kayla Murray. So she's I call her our marketing manager. I'll work titles. My title is funding coordinator / treasurer. So but we're not really. We're just 10% of the people that do 90% of the work. So basically, we've put in a funding application for. We're running an event on the 28th of February, 1st of March next year. We're hosting the what we call our club champs, which is our what they call the Roke and Rockwood competition. And last year, Kayla was a member of the winning team. So this is the first time in the whole of the history that Kaikohe has actually won the club champs. So we were in competition against, it is, Haki. So we were in competition against all the other clubs throughout the North Island. So it's from Wanganui down to the Waikato, Central Plateau, everywhere. So, and do you want to talk a little bit about our team? So basically our team encompasses the average age was about 20. Yeah, about 20, which is really young for a team of competing at that level. So Kayla was actually in 2023, she was one of our 4 members in Kaikohe Polocross Club that represented New Zealand at the World Cup in South Africa, 2023. And so we're really proud of the fact that although our club's been going for 40 years, we had a little lull there, but Kayla joined our club 15 odd years ago when her family played polocross within New Zealand, mostly in Auckland, and she was only a little tacker. And so she's been her family saw how amazing Northland is and moved. The land's cheaper, there's just so many more opportunities in terms of beaches everywhere. So basically what we're trying to showcase with our event is we're going to have about 150 odd people and their families all migrate to Northland, and they often come for more than a week sometimes. It's their annual holiday with all their horses, and so they're going to be contributing back to the community. And they do. They stay and in Kayla Murray's family's instance, her family went, right, let's move here. So there's potential for that. I know that everyone that comes to Northland and competes when we have carnivals up here just is blown away by the hospitality, the beaches, because we take them sightseeing, go and see Tane Mahuta and go dune boarding, and they end up going home more exhausted from all of that than actually playing polocross. So, I feel like this is an opportunity to showcase Northland and in particular Kaikohe area. So just a little bit about our club. Many of you will know the Slinskys. They sort of, if you haven't been involved in forestry, or Rhonda Slinsky with a hub down the road. So basically Rhonda's played polocross her whole life since age 13. And many of you may remember her parents, Bill and Lynn Slinsky, that had the dairy down the bottom here for years and years and years. So they were founding members of our club, and their children are all playing, and then now their children are having kids. So it's just a generational, it's basically a real family sport that keeps everyone engaged. And I've seen Kayla run around as a 5-year-old, and now she's representing her country. So
it's great. So I'm just wondering if anybody has any questions.
I do have a question.
Sure.
So one of your quotes that you had in was for a commentator live streaming the event, and I noticed that you did choose the more expensive one, and they're from Australia. Why is that?
Yeah, go.
So basically in polocross, it's super hard to find someone that will live stream, and we have looked outside of it, but to have a commentator as well who, it's a different sort of style of when you're commentating polocross. So there are people that do it professionally overseas. There's no one in New Zealand that does it. So we've also had quotes from people live streaming in New Zealand, and it is around the same expensive price. And the way you have to like follow the game and then switch to the person commentating, it's quite difficult.
It is.
So we've always struggled with it, and we've always just sort of done it on our phones because it's so expensive. So now that we're deciding we want to do it properly, we just thought the professionals, and
The biggest thing with our sport, it's not huge in New Zealand. So we do attract a lot of people during our season because Australia plays polocross in the winter. And so they come over here in the summertime, and they are hosted by families like the Murrays, like Kayla's family, my family. We've all hosted these children, and what it does, it gives them a connection to another country. Like, for example, Kayla could go anywhere in the world that plays polocross, and she would have a bed and a horse to ride and play. So that's kind of the connections, globally that we sort of, and so being able to do a live stream that's professional means that all these other countries that are watching our club champs can, watch their children or watch their relatives, or just have that connection.
And also the people that we're getting over, most of the time when they do live streaming in Aussie, they get around 40,000 people each weekend watching that. So if it's someone that, Australia is so massive with polocross and we're so small, if they're live streaming it, you're going to get all of the Australians who already follow that page watching it. So
they're going to go, Kaikohe, New Zealand, where's that? And then it just flows from there. So that was, I don't know, have we understood?
All right, so that's time. So thank you so much. We'll consider the application. We'll consider the application, and somebody will be in touch.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So we do have another funding application online. Do we have Mariah Herbert-Pickering to speak for Pawarenga Marae and the United Marae Sports Day?
Tēnā koutou karongo.
Hi. Hi.
Tuatahi akira ka tika ka mihi kia koe Doug. Nā wano I tuku ngā kukuwairua kia paiheretia I a tātou. Ka huri anō au kia rātou ko whetūrangitia. tētahi te kāinga, tētahi whānau moa, anō nei ki Pangaru, tai atu ki tō tātou nei rangatira, matua Joe Efron, nā reira, nā tēnei mate, o ka marae, haere, haere, haere. Ka hoki mai hau ki a tātou, tēnā koutou, e te poari, hāpori, nei rā hau e mihi ana, aroha mai tētahi waka. Haere na mātou anei mātou ngā wahine o te Hokianga o Hauraro, e haere ana ki whainga roa mo tētahi wānanga patu. So please accept my apologies that we're travelling as well for my 5 minutes. So I'm speaking on behalf of our kāinga, Te Uri o Tai Pawaringa. I hold the chair position on one of our marae at Ohaki, one of 3 of our marae, and have been an avid or a volunteer for our Pawaringa Sports Day forever, it feels like. Our Pawaringa Sports Day has been running for over 50 years now, and in the days where they would use someone to paddock to run the event. It's the only annual event that happens in our kāinga and draws in over 1,000 people on this one day of 31st of December each year. It is made up of all descendants of our marae, our 3 marae, Morehu, Ohaki and Taiao, and our main goal for that is to raise funds for our 3 marae. As you know, that funding can be very difficult, and we have had a long history at home where volunteers resources, including kutia from their whānau, just to keep the running of our marae. And so I just want to say thank you to the board for having the time to have a look at our application, which we think aligns with your guidelines in terms of fostering leadership, self-reliance, which I can hand on heart say, and we have evidence of that throughout our kāinga, including all of those on our coast, from Mitsi, Pangaru, Kaorenga, Uwhata, Tangape, right through. And so we're asking, the other part of that is too that we are all volunteers. These are all voluntold mahi, e taonga tukui o tērā, that we are part of the kaitiakitanga role in our kāinga. So we are asking for an investment of $10,000 towards our annual sports day, which includes chopping, horse riding, tug of war, is 240 kutia, is to bring our whānau home for connections. And for many, it's hard for them to leave. So we're asking for an investment of $10,000 to go towards the running of that day, which includes what we've applied for is the bouncy castles for our tamariki entertainment, portaloos, so that the tūtai doesn't go back into the whenua. We're removing that when the day is finished, and some portion of that kutia to go towards some of the kai. Auri ora.
Kia ora Mariah. Are there questions? You have a little extra time to kōrero as you're representing the marae if you have, but perhaps we'll go to questions first. Aye. So are there questions for Mariah?
Yeah.
To Member Van Galen.
So I see that you've got a bid food quota there and you're actually trying to buy hot chips. Are you planning on selling those hot chips?
So historically, what our nannies have done is they have always gone back to our whānau who
But I would just love to.
Where we can, we call us. Oh, okay.
Back.
Are you there?
Go back.
Sorry, we're in the. Right, we're just in whakapara. Aroha mai.
Could you repeat?
Yeah, kapai. So it's part of yes, the answer is yes, that we wanted to just decrease some of the stress for our whānau that we would normally, historically, go out to ask whānau for the majority of the kai, so that we would almost have like a all profit day for our marae. But as you know that the cost of living and the high cost of kai brings pressure on all our whānau. So if there is a possibility that we could put that in that application and be accepted, that would be appreciated. Ngāre kei a koutou te mana.
Kia ora. Are there other questions? Anything further you'd like to say in your time, Whaia?
Oh, he mihi tēnei kia koutou. Thank you for considering our application. Mauri ora.
Mauri ora, kia ora. And we do have another speaker for a funding application, and that is Therese Wickbom from Bald Angels.
Tēnā koutou. Well, Grace Tupuinua from Bald Angels Ngā Anahita Pākara. I would like to acknowledge these people. I don't like to know that, these lovely community advocates here and all the mahi that you are doing. And thank you for the opportunity to speak to our little project today. We've applied for funding to support our annual Christmas project, which is creating high boxes and gifts for 1,370 tamariki this year and 403, 405, we're not sure yet, whānau. So to break that down into the Kaikohe Hokianga ward, we have registered 142 whānau, and those registrations come from our partners. We work with up to 30 partners, but these registrations have come from these partners in this wohi, Hawara Hokianga, the Whono, Mid-North Hospice, Te Ora o Ngāpui Iwi Social Services, Hiwa Langi, Mid-North Refuge, and Plunkett. There's a little bit of crossover in some of these partner organisations, and we spend quite a bit of time processing the 400 applications or referrals so that we make sure there is no crossover, and always there is. And then we go back to those partners and we say, okay, we've got a crossover here, you keep this, add more whānau. And they're always very keen to add extra whānau into this mix because clearly the need is far greater than we can. What I want to say is that we believe that Ngā Anahita Pākara, Bald Angels, we tick the boxes for your vibrant, healthy community and healthy, safe and connected community outcomes. The kai, I think this is really, really crucial to understand. The kai is more than just a box of kai. It's creating the opportunity for whānau to share together without the stress. It's creating an opportunity for the caregiver to provide for their whānau, to cook, to do something special, because the boxes that we deliver, or we don't personally deliver, our partner agencies deliver, those boxes are very significant. They hold all sorts of staple grocery items, fresh vegetables, fresh meat, and there's also a recipe book that is created by the community using the ingredients in those kai boxes. So we like to think that there's going to be some family getting together, creating together too. So it's way more than just the kai. And the gifts, who doesn't like gifts? Every child likes to receive a gift, and every caregiver likes to be the giver of a gift. We've been very fortunate this year to get some fantastic support again from growers. So we have lots of vegetables that have been donated. We've also been very fortunate again this year to have 400 balls donated by the Tiny Adulting Foundation. That absolutely helps. The budget is just under 60,000 to do 400 whānau each year, well, this year. And you will notice in the budget too that we've done an excellent job. Well, that's not in the budget. We budgeted to raise $20,000 approximately ourselves to fund this project, and I can happily report that we've just reached $35,000. So that also makes me want to say that if there are other causes that need the funding and need a limited funding, I know we understand and we will get by, but we need all of the support that we can get every year on year. The reason, if we do get more funding than is required, and that's probably not going to happen, but if it happened, we would continue to take that full kai because the demand on us currently is massive.
I'm just going to call time. But I just wanted to clarify the 400, is that across the whole of the north or is that for our ward?
Oh, 400. Your Wohi is 128.
Okay, 128.
Yes, so Mariah, who we just heard from, some of her whānau are registered, many from Hokianga and quite a few organisations from this area.
Cool. So I'm going to call time now because we've got a long day, but unless there's urgent questions. Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of our public forum, our deputations and our funding speakers. So thank you all for your time and all the best. And somebody will be in touch with the people who've applied for funding and so on. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to take, whānau, we're going to take a 5-minute comfort stop. So should we call the live?
Adrian, could you pause the live, please?
no mai hoki mai. We are going to move into the rest of the meeting now, but I just want to really acknowledge the passing of Papa Joe Enright and also of Monty Knight, both who've made huge contributions to Tai Tukirau. And just a quick update over the last month since we've met. Some of us had the opportunity of going on the Hokianga Kaikohe ward tour, and we did it in that order. So it was really great to be able to take our councillors and some staff and members around to see some of the important places in our ward. And we had a 2-day strategic offsite hui as well to really look at the bigger vision and how we work together as community boards and councils to achieve the aspirations of our community. So that was really useful. And coming up tomorrow is the Rawini Christmas in the Park at Rawini School. Everyone's invited. And next Saturday it would be the amazing Kaikohe Christmas event. And there are many other Christmas events around the whānau, and you can find out more on the FNDC website. And so we're moving into that season. It's exciting times. Now, the first thing that we need to do is confirm the previous minutes. Is there anybody who would move to confirm the previous minutes? Second though?
I'll second that.
Everyone say aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Kahuri. Thank you. And so next we'll go to 7.1. So that is on page 14. And this is around the new road name. And the recommendation is that the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board name a private road, Puanga Lane, that is located at 15 Guy Road, Kaikohe. Do we have anyone to move this recommendation?
I'll do that.
You'll move?
I'll second.
And second, thank you. Any discussion?
When I brought it before this, actually, about the, just going to repeat myself now, actually, about the, who is in touch? Who have we been in touch with about the naming of these roads? Oh, that's right, you were there. And I just wanted to ask that.
Kia ora. So I think we'll go to Trinity to answer that.
Can I just have a bit more elaboration on what you mean by who we're in touch with?
In the community, like Kaikohe here or any other outlying district, who is the council in touch with to name these new roads?
Sure, yeah. So the council's process for a road naming application. So it's required as per a resource consent with any development that reaches a certain number of lots. So the applicant or someone on behalf of the applicant will submit the application to council. They provide a preferred road name. So as their resource consent states, they need to provide up to 3 road names. This then comes to council. Council will, staff, road and transportation will decide if the name is applicable. If it's applicable, we will then go through the process of submitting it for further consultation, which is getting approval from Land Information New Zealand to ensure that it follows the Crown, as well as then consulting with Hapu and Iwi to ensure that there is cultural significance applied towards any names. Iwi or Hapu are welcome to also submit a road name if they believe that there is something that is more significant for the area. For example, this road name, the name has been supplied from Iwi. So this is a good example of when Iwi can step forward and they can get involved with the developments that are going on. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. It's just that I'm out at Waimato North.
Yeah.
And I'm just new to this stuff.
No, for sure.
And
there's a road there in a new subdivision there, and it didn't make any difference to us locals at home because of maybe the spelling or whoever submitted that name.
Yes.
Te Rore doesn't make sense to us, but Te Rore does. Te Rore, we don't know, Te Rore is the road.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yes. Yeah. So you're saying a consultation with people outside of like that area that would.
Well, the thing was, as far as we were concerned, that the Marae community, we were notified of that name.
Okay. I know the name that you're talking about. This one did happen before my time, so I can't speak on the application or process. Yes. But there is further consultation that is happening regarding that road name. So we will be seeing potential outcome within the near future. But yeah, about further consultation regarding this placement and the name itself. So that is something to bring forward there. The community that is living on the road, they will always be consulted with. So if you lived 15 Guy Road A, then you would be consulted with because you would be an affected homeowner.
Okay. It's just that now it's been there for about 3 or 4 years now.
Yep.
If it's gonna cost anything to change the name,
yes,
we'll just forget about it.
Yeah.
We'll just have to live with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So yeah.
You know, I don't like spending money unnecessarily.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, if it's there, it's there.
Yeah. And
Okay. So can I just sorry, Matua.
If it costs nothing to change, well, we'll have a name change.
Yeah, I'm happy to discuss this with you further. I can run you through all of the renaming process. I can speak with Dolly and we can organise something if that is beneficial to the members.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So absolutely, Matua. Well, I'm glad that one's going to go through the process. So just bringing us back to the naming of the one that we're looking at with the recommendation. Just to also to make a note of is that the previous that I'm part of was very firm about checking that hapu and iwi had been really involved and had opportunity to either provide names or discuss those road namings. So I appreciate those comments and that is part of our job to check that proper engagement has been done. So we'll come back to this recommendation. Are we ready? Is there further discussion to be had for this?
I just want to clarify I heard right. So even if we recommend or move this recommendation, there's still a consultation process that will happen.
So once you have approved the recommendation, the road name will then be submitted. Will there be named?
And so because it came from Te Hawara o Ngāpuhi, which is the house arms of the iwi, that meant that no hapu consultation was needed because it was coming from a subsidiary of the
So we did seek out Ngāpuhi iwi consultation. I understand obviously Te Hawara Ngāpuhi is a branch off of Ngāpuhi iwi, but we didn't need the hapu consultation because we have the iwi consultation.
Yeah, maybe we should discuss more later.
That's fine.
So that sounds like, these are the conversations we were having last triennium. In terms of this recommendation, shall we move to vote on naming this private road Puanga Lane?
Through the chair, if I can offer some advice, because I'm hearing concerns around the lack of hapu engagement or consultation, you are able to leave this report to lie on the table until that is done. What that means, though, is that our report writer then has to go, if you can provide our report writer with the names of those people in the hapu area that can be contacted to discuss this or consult on this, that would be helpful for you because we don't know all the contacts in the hapu space. So you can either choose to leave the report to lie until that is done, or you can choose to vote on the report today.
Preferably,
To leave to lie?
just leave it until.
Leave it to lie?
This is a private road. This is not a council road. It is a lane within their own piece of dirt that they own. Just so people know.
Yeah, no, it's a housing court.
It's a private road.
That's in amongst those housing corp houses in Guy Road.
Is that correct, Trinity? Yes, that is correct.
Well, how can it be private road when it comes off the main road?
Because it's just a section of land. It's just like I bought a property, that's my property. I can subdivide that property as I please. So because the property has been subdivided to 6 lots, that now requires a road name as per our road naming policy. So it's a private road. It's not publicly accessible. That road is only given access to those 6 lots that are on that property.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay, so they've agreed to that name?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, based on it being a private road, I'm happy to move.
Yeah, and if I can just add, Madam Chair, the come up to was Honey and Fred Sadler, both of them, and they have been associated with that development as well, I think, with what Ngāpui is doing there. So I think I'm confident to say, yeah, we can proceed.
Any further discussion on leaving it to lie or moving to go to vote?
I'll move the motion.
Kapai? Yes, it's been moved and second. We'll go to vote that the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board private road, Puanga Lane, that is located at 15 Guy Road, Kaikohe. Everyone? Any against? Kia ora. Kapai.
Thank you, Trinity.
Kia ora.
So you, Madam Chair, maybe going forward, we as a board stipulate that we want to see that feedback comes from Ngāpui.
Kia ora. You've noted that.
Yes, sure. There will be discussion with Jason, the manager of Te Kono.
Yeah.
Further consultation and compliance. So we're more than welcome to have further discussion to understand the expectations of your board.
Sorry, through the chair, just to add on to Papa's kōrero that many hapu are associated with marae, so marae are probably some of the critical points of contact for hapu. I know for tauwhara, if it comes to the marae, it will get disseminated from there to the people who need to know about it. So marae are great contacts.
Sure, thank you.
So we'll move along to 7.2, that is on page 19. And that is the recommendation is that the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board notes that the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board strategic plan, or notes the KHCB strategic plan 2023 to 2025. Do I have a mover for noting this? Kia ora, Kelly. Do I have a seconder for noting the previous strategic? Kia ora, Doug. Is there any discussion on this?
I need to comment that we're just noting it in that we will be working on the new one, I think.
We will be. So I'll put that to the vote of noting this plan. Everybody say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Kia ora. Well done, Arno. And so we come to 7.3, which is page 46, and this is funding applications. Now, we have recommendations made by our amazing funding person, Catherine, but we can discuss those amounts should we need to. And I think we'll go through them one by one. It will make it simpler as we're a new board. And so the first recommendation is that number A, that the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board approve the recommended sum of $5,000 plus just if applicable to be paid from the board's community grant fund account to Bald Angels Charitable Trust for costs towards Christmas Kai boxes for 2025. Do I have a mover for that motion?
I second.
You second that, Matua. Any discussion on that application for $5,000?
Through the chair, I will reiterate, they did get additional funding that they weren't expecting. They did get their full grant from lotteries when they applied, and the other two boards have granted them $3,000 each, which is in line with what you were granted last year.
Yeah, so I was thinking about the three myself personally.
So we want to make an amendment.
Oh, the move and second.
Move and second.
Sorry about that. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Before second,
Okay.
if they got full funding, well, I'll just take that back. Sorry, 3,000.
Okay, so can you just tell me so we do exactly the correct process here? Okay, next time we will do it with a blank, but in this process, since we've moved.
With the permission of the mover and the seconder, we can change the amount to 3,000.
Agreed.
Okay, permission.
Yes.
Okay, so with that amendment of $3,000 for the Bald Angels, we'll put it to the vote. Does everybody say aye?
No.
Aye. Any against? And that is carried for $3,000. So I'm going to move with a blank amount on the recommendation so that we can more easily have those discussions. So we go to B, that the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board approve the sum of blank plus just if applicable to be paid from the board's community grant fund account to School Start First Impressions for cost towards school starter packs for Tamariki. And I think, yeah, well, first we'll go to, if somebody, will somebody move that?
I'll second it just so we can.
Okay, second. Okay, so we'll move to a discussion, and I believe that Catherine has some points too.
So through the chair, they were left to lie on the table at Te Hiku on Monday because the board would like to hear them speak to put their case. And at Bay Board yesterday, they were declined.
Thank you for that information. Is there any other comments to make on this?
Were they present at that second meeting?
They spoke at that meeting because the chair asked that they be, so they were online. They are from Auckland, so they're not local, they're expanding into that area.
Okay.
Any discussion to be had or further questions to our funding advisor?
I think there's lots of questions
Yes.
for this particular application, and personally, I'd like to decline it, but I'm happy to leave it.
So,
Okay, we'll go to member Court.
no, I agree to that. If it started off in order, why don't we wait until it actually is here in our right before we agree to any of this funding?
Good, so more information is needed to see, is what I'm hearing. So any further?
Oh, look, I agree. They really need to speak to it, in my view. I don't know, you know, in the Kaikohe Hokianga how many they will be including. So there's a lot of unknowns as
Based on the figures they provided yesterday, they said that $2,500 would hit out approximately 30 children. The uniform and full school year.
Okay, so
Mike.
Yeah, well, sorry, Madam Chair, but for me, there's no context to it. It's just an amount. There's no context behind breakdown that I can.
That's okay. I mean, it is in your supporting information, but what you can do is leave it to lie and we can ask them to speak at your next meeting.
Thank you.
Yep.
So I move that we leave it to lie. Second. Yeah, and is everyone in agreement? Say aye. Aye. And we'd like some more information on that from the applicant, please, Catherine. Okay. So the next one is C, and I'll move it again blank. That the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board approve the sum of blank plus GST applicable to be paid from the board's community grant fund account to the Manaaki Tinana Trust towards costs of repairing the community gym roof. Now, just note that that is in Rawene, down on the domain, because there were questions earlier about where that was. So would anybody move this application?
You want me to move it with a blank, you just need.
Oh, sorry.
I'll second.
Second it with a blank. And any discussion? No, we are talking about Manaaki Tinana Trust, which is repairing the community gym roof at Rawene.
Sorry. Yeah.
Now, there was discussion earlier about that we have a total of $32,000 in our community grant for this board to go across the whole of our ward until the end of June 2026. We do have $95,000 in our placemaking fund to last that same time. So the question was asked to our funding advisor.
I'm actually going to just say, this was done in the last meeting and I don't know why it's appeared in here.
I was going to say, we don't actually.
$2,468 at the September meeting.
I had a memory of that too.
So, my apologies, I don't know why that's appeared in there and I didn't realise it. So please excuse me, you don't need to move it, you don't need to second it. You actually granted them $2,468 at the September 5th meeting. So you don't have to worry about that.
All right.
And I would say, just please forgive my not picking up that for some reason that one was still there.
It's not in our
Catherine,
agenda.
it's not actually there.
Yeah, I was trying to look for it.
I'm looking
On
for it.
page 47 though, and they spoke to the Polocross, and the sum is 3.5. I think there's a misprint here, and it should be referring to the Polocross.
Yeah,
Mine goes straight to.
yeah, the follow cross is the one in there, and I don't know what. Yeah, it's the follow cross, not Manaaki Tinana.
All right, so
Polocross with a blank.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you for that. Just throwing in a curveball in the middle of our meeting.
That was a test, wasn't it, Catherine?
Yeah,
It was a test and I'm glad you passed.
no, I failed. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, so I will instead move that the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board approve the sum of blank plus GST if applicable to be paid from the board's community grant fund account to the Northland Polo Cross Club for hosting the 2026 National Polo Cross Champs. So that is the recommendation. Do we have a mover?
You moved it.
You
I'll second it. I'll second it as a blank. For discussion.
Ready the recommendation, actually. You're seconding it?
Yeah, I can speak as well.
Sure. So you're seconding it, you want to speak to that, thank you.
Yeah, I think the recommendation at 3.5, Polocross, based on prior knowledge, is a major sport here, and they do bring in quite a bit, and a high-profile club that I've noticed. I don't play Polocross. And to actually have a young lady actually win, it's quite impressive. So I'm in favour of the full out there 3.5. That's my comment.
Any further discussion?
Did they have any other funding with it or not? Did you mention any funding
Supporting
or not?
information.
It's in the supporting information. Yes, they
Supporting information. You need all of that there.
Oh.
I believe they have other young ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're asking for one specific thing. Their event cost is significantly higher than what they are asking from the board.
40,000, I think they said, was that?
Yeah. 40,000 viewers. Yeah.
Or viewers watching, that's right.
Yes. That's mind-blowing. Hence the $3,000 spent.
Is there any other discussion to be had at the moment? Councillor Vusic has moved three.
No, I'm suggesting 3 because it's
Suggesting.
It's playing at the moment. So
Suggesting 3.5. So we're discussing the amount.
Previously we did 2.5.
I think because of the economic drive that they're bringing, all those people and 40,000 viewers from Australia looking at little old Kaikohe and its potential, I think it's a pretty good spend. I don't like how they filled out their funding application.
Yeah.
But,
Huge halfway through.
you know, I mean, but
Yeah.
the overall.
Yeah.
But they're not the first one. I mean, that Te Whatu girl, she already won, the world champs, and they did this years ago, this big, huge parade through town, and all the shops, head shops, they decorated themselves throughout, the country. And so if we're bringing world champs back into town with that much coverage, then I think it's a pretty good spend.
Yeah. Through you, Madam Chair, I also agree on that. Yeah. Okay. Highlights. Put the Kaikohe in a better light.
Any further discussion? Councillor Allen?
No, I totally support. I hope they come to Newville and Kaikohe and not but Kaikohe does get promoted, so I'll take that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Maybe they have to shop it.
Yes,
And that all money must be spent in town.
If you're watching on the live stream, then you've heard the recommendations from our board. So at the moment, actually so at the moment you've put 3.5.
That was the second one. I also total put John in the amount.
Kia ora. So we're ready to put that to the vote. $3,500 for polo cross camps. And say aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Thank you. Throwing me in there, Catherine. So we will go to number D, or letter D, that the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board approved the sum of blank plus just if applicable, to be paid from the board's community grant fund account to the Claire Gordon. That's what it says. To Claire Gordon towards the costs of Mangunu Day photographic exhibition. So do I have a seconder?
Yeah.
Seconder, Councillor Allen. And so can we have some discussion? Do we have comments to make?
Yes, I do, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Does how would I say this? The organising committee have an application in for the actual Mangunu event? Do they ever put in an application? Have they ever put in an application?
Mitta Harris, through the chair, Mitta Harris did one about, I think it was the same year as COVID or the
When he
year
was
before.
chairperson.
I will say he never did his project report afterwards, and chasing him has been a challenge. I've kind of given up on that one, but that's the only one we've ever had from Minota.
Okay.
Good. Madam Chair, I actually support that and that figure. It tends to be forgotten that that's the third largest signing of the treaty. And I'd like to see that bid grow, especially as, 2035 and 2040 move. And that should be, hopefully we can get people coming to the treaty, Waitangi Day and staying over to this event as well. It'd be great for the Hokianga. And
Yes.
art, I presume, would be really good, so I'm happy.
I did have some questions. So you're suggesting the amount that we have in front of us, which is $1,500. Lee?
Yes,
Is that what you did?
Yeah. I'm open to comments.
Yeah, I actually had questions that I didn't think were answered in the application. I mean, I totally support highlighting Mangungu and the importance and the significance of that day and of the signing itself. I love photographic exhibitions, but I wasn't quite clear on really, this is a private photographer holding an exhibit. So she's asking for the funding to do the framing and so on, which is expensive. So I have questions about funding a private photographer, even though it will be displayed in these prominent places. So I'm just wondering what others think about that.
Possibly answer your
Yes, thank you.
Ideally, the exhibition would become a rolling exhibition with some of the large printed images being gifted to the community and then replace the exhibition with images from the following year's celebration. So even though we could be potentially giving her $1,500, what she's actually then doing is creating these artworks and then giving them to the community. And then next year, she's actually already offering to change out the images.
Hilda? Any further comments on that?
I just see if I was organising marketing, like the money would be more effective in the organisation of that event.
Through the chair.
Through the chair. So Doug, I understand that a representative of Ngā Uri Whakatupu o Hokianga, Yvonne, I think is her name, is attending the next council meeting on the 11th to give a deputation seeking support from council for Mangungu event.
Okay.
Yeah, kia ora. That's right. So I'll just go. I remember.
If that's the case, how about we just wait until she arrives to give what she wants to explain to us.
So I guess in all fairness, that normally if applications are less than $3,000, we haven't required speakers to come to speak to us. That's been the policy that we have at present. So that's why these lesser amounts aren't coming to speak. Yeah, kia ora. And I'll go to Member Bangalan and then Member Orm.
Heritage New Zealand does also financially input into Mangungu Day.
Yes, they do.
Kia ora. And Member Orm.
Yeah, even though it's a private person, if she's prepared to donate and replace, I would be in favour of it.
Kia ora. So,
Sorry,
Councillor Allen.
I have one question because it's printing and mounting, but the project outline was to record the occasion. So is she going to be recording at Mangungu, or is this stuff that she's already done last year and she's going to print it off?
So through the chair, this is for photos she took last year that will be displayed this year, and then she will take photos this year that will be displayed next year.
Perfect. Kia ora. Ka pai. Any more comments, discussions? Otherwise, so that the sum that Councillor Pursic has proposed is 1,500 plus, just to be applicable. We'll put that to the vote.
Sorry, Madam Chair. Can we just, I don't want you coming back every year.
Kia ora. So shall we make a note?
I can have that conversation with her. She tends not to come back year on year for the same project. She'll come back for something different. Perhaps.
Through the chair, you're welcome to add in wording into the recommendation so that it's approved as a one-off sum of.
Thank you.
So is that an amended?
It's with the consent of the mover and the seconder that can be added. That's yourself and Councillor Allen. You're approved.
I approve to add that and as a one-off.
One-off sum.
One-off sum. Ka pai, Councillor Allen. Approve that it's a one-off to that movement as a one-off sum. And I'll put that to the vote. Everybody say aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Well done, team. So we come to E, and that is that the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board approve the sum of blank, plus just if applicable, to be paid from the board's community grant fund account to powering a United Marae sports tournament towards the costs of equipment hire. And second vote.
Yeah, I'll second.
Second for blank. Okay, any discussion? That,
What's the problem?
well, they have requested $10,000. The applicant is seeking funding towards the cost of hosting the annual Kawaringa United Marae Sports Day on New Year's Eve. The costs they have requested the board to cover include kai, which is generally not funded by the board, bouncy castle hire and portaloo hire. The amount recommended in our papers would cover the cost of a portaloo hire and a contribution towards the bouncy castles. This meets community outcomes 1, 2, 3, and 5. So, what they have asked for is $10,000. The recommendation you have in front of you, but we'll have a discussion on this. Member Van Galen.
Don't make me go first.
Sorry.
Yeah, I can give context. I mean, yeah, we're really struggling out there. That's why it used to be an annual event, and it drags everyone from everywhere to that one location on that day. It's part of everyone's calendar between us all the way up to the cop. So most of the Hokianga, we take all your horses, all your silly riders, and we have really, really good day. They've moved it to every other year now because, one, like we all know, it takes a village to run an event. We can't do that year in, year out. And it's the one shop they have at raising money for 3 marae to run, to pay insurance, to keep the doors open, and to keep our maraes topped up with utensils that keep walking out the door. So that's the only time they get refreshed. All our maraes and anything else we have done in that community. And is this the first time they've made application here?
No, and they did it very, very late. It was actually after I was supposed to have had my report in, and I gave them an extension to get it in. So they're leaving it to the very last minute to start asking for help again.
What happened is they're actually on their way down to Raglan because the community down there, we've got no one left at home. All my family and Mariah's family, they all travel down to Raglan this time of the year. They're going for grading in Oiraka. Our women do the patu. So they're going for grading, starts tonight. And then they come home Sunday. So they're en route. And same thing, we all pulled together resources. One, we borrowed the school vans so that they could fill them up, and then we all give petrol vouchers so that they could travel down and travel back. Those are the challenges that we currently face. What I'm asking for, if they're asking for 10K, please give it.
So we'll keep going with our discussion. Do you had something?
Yeah, just the, like there are, I don't know, probably Catherine can answer. There are some conditions, I hear what Doug's saying, but there are some conditions about what we can fund and what, as you read out there, Madam Chair, what we don't fund. And I'd be nervous if we're stepping outside what we're doing there. But in saying that though, I think this sounds really great, and I hear the korero around it and the thousands of people that come. And I'm wondering, and that should be part of our strategy thinking, is how can we take a fledgling event and make it sustainable? And I just want to point out that there's several other sources of funding that they can probably look at. I don't know the timing, but the mayor's got a fund that's that's discretionary. He can do whatever he wants with that, and if there's creating something out of it that is doing other things, there's other sources of funds as well, where I'm sure with a bit of advice that they can be directed to go to. But to see a sustainable event out there like that, I don't agree with Doug, would be great. Just on this amount here, there's a better recommendation made by staff.
So we'll have further discussion.
I have to, I'm sorry. Based on this particular application and how it is presented in front of me, there's no way that I'll put $3,000. I get it. But the Portaloos, yes, because that's a thing. The bid food quote, sorry, it doesn't sit with me. I'm not really happy spending ratepayers' money buying hot chips to be sold. And right from day one, when we first all met, and I said I really hate funding bouncy castles. I think if they had put other things in here instead of those two components, it would look different.
What would you give them that would be in your hands?
Oh, I'd definitely give them the recommendation that Catherine's put in because it's only $2,500. I mean, I would probably happily give them $5,000. Just chips.
Are there any member quotes?
Sorry, Doug. $10,000, fair amount of money, But if there's other avenues of getting funding, I think it would be proper if we went through that. Just put our eye into the picture here. We come from a marae upbringing and bringing up all those utensils. We all understand a lot of things go walking out the door and they have to be replenished. But we have our marae committee to put up, or we fundraise to do that, bringing all those utensils back into the wharekai again. And to me, 10,000 does simply be a bit, a lot of money. And I think we ought to just have another rethink about that part of the funding. We do need money, but if we can get resources from somewhere else, we ought to try that again before we bring it back in our
I'll just speak to that.
That's my knowledge with.
And I this one was the one that I found most conflicted about, because I do hear you, Matua Doug, about, and I remember Maidan or that huge events, and I understand what it takes to put on a massive event, and also the location, particularly for Hokianga being the centre of the universe but far away from other places. There's not a lot of opportunities to do that kind of fundraising. And I also, through a lot of applications that we've received and also that I put in myself, I do hear Member Van Galen about had they actually put in, and of course those costs will be incurred. It's just that this is what they put in this application, and particularly around pai, and that's something that this board tends not to fund, although we have made exceptions. So I'm going to throw in a medium of $5,000 to recognise the significance of this event, but also the fact that we have to spread our funding out over another 7 months. So would anyone second?
I'll second that.
You're second.
Yeah.
5,000.
So just speaking to it, it's a gesture of goodwill and encouragement. I think that's appropriate.
Kia ora, Dennis. Kia ora. Any discussions on that?
Yeah, I'll support that too. So you're probably majority.
Okay, so shall we put that to the vote for $5,000?
Kapai.
Just for, Madam Chair, just for transparency, you had moved it and Councillor Visage has seconded it. If you're okay with the 5,000, I don't need an amendment.
Kia ora, aroha. Put that to the vote. Everyone say aye if you agree.
Aye.
Any against? Ahori.
Can I say that add a note if we can and we send out the confirmation to direct them to the mayoral discretionary fund?
That's actually because Doug was making notes, so I was passing all of that along.
Thank you.
Just twist his arm.
So we are going, I believe that's all, unless I've missed anything out. So we're going to move to page 101 for the open resolutions and actions update.
I was just going to throw it through the chair. That leaves you with about $19,029. That is until the 30th of June next year.
Kia ora. Thank you. It's a good reminder for us going forward. It is Christmas though, isn't it? All right, so on page 101, the Kaikohe Hokianga Community Board received the open resolution report for November 2025.
Yeah, I'll move.
John moves, Councillor Visage moves. Member Court seconds. Any discussion?
For those, Madam Chair, for those of you who are not familiar with the open resolutions and actions reports, these are throughout your triennium will bring reports to the table. Some reports will require further action from staff, and so we continue to have them on your radar through this report so that we're following up as we go throughout the triennium. Where I can, I will bring back a report at the end of each year. Because if you've escalated reports up to council, often at that level it gets lost in the ether. So when they move or second and carry your reports, I'll bring a report back down at the end of each year to tell you what happened in those instances.
So just a question. I have a question on this one. This came through the Kaikohe. This is going back pretty much a year. November 2024.
We're on page 8, page 102.
I'm on what one? 8.1?
Yeah, 8.1, and then which resolution are you speaking?
Just a report, open resolution report in page 102, and it goes on to page 103. Here's a resolution here, and I've raised this with the council as well. This is almost a year. I'd like to see things moving quickly. Now, I'm not looking at the community board because you made that resolution way back there. And if you go down to page 103, 21st of August 2025, and here's my question. Escalated up to council for resolution, and it was then moved in favour in council. So is this one closed?
So you, through the chair, you've indicated page 102, which is the 36 Recreation Road. Is that correct?
Yes, the lease. So this is one that, yeah, sports hall lease. And what, sorry, just add, why it's critical is they are actually hindered for being able to apply for funding unless they've got a lease. And it's on the new building. So it's actually critical that it be done quickly. So I'm sort of a bit disappointed that council has taken so long in the process, but I understand council was in favour of that in that meeting on August 2025. So is it completed is the question I have.
So Councillor Visage, it would be completed if it's at council level and they agree to the lease. Yes is the answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Did they agree to the lease?
So your recollection is different from mine, Councillor, in that I could not find So with respect, I could not find the resolution from council that granted the lease. And so because we haven't moved forward fast enough, what I've done is I've escalated it up to the next council meeting on the 11th of December.
Okay, good. Because I saw that and I thought, goodness me, this is not good. Okay.
The intention was for it to go to the 28th of August council meeting. It did not go to that meeting that I could find.
Maybe okay, sorry.
So they did consider other leases, but not that one in particular. So I will put it up to the 11th December council meeting for resolution.
And we'll hear back, hopefully, we'll hear back on their resolution.
Councillor Usage, in regard to page 103, ground lease request over Kaikohe landfill, and that also touches on Mr. Mairi's corridor this morning. The community board received the landfill report on the 21st of February this year, and the community board resolved to recommend that council deny all ground leases over Kaikohe landfill for health and safety reasons. And so that's where it currently sits, and staff are investigating the types of leakage that are there.
Yeah.
So that's still in progress.
Yeah, I understand that one.
Any further discussion before we receive this open resolution report?
Through the chair, just on page 106, by way of an update on the new ground lease to Kaikohe Bowling Club, council resolved to grant that lease to the Kaikohe Bowling Club.
Yeah.
So I can close that one.
Kaikohe. Kaikohe.
Can I ask a question too, since John moved this one? Why do you want to move the taxi stand? I realise we don't have a taxi now, but why do you want to move it?
It costs money to keep it the way it is. And
On one side.
no, it's more than that. There's a couple of places, I think, and there's no taxis in the town.
What happens though next year when we get a taxi?
Are we getting one next year?
Well, it could be in our strategic plan that we want to bring taxis back to get people out to Napa Springs, or
Yeah, so the cheaper response to that is that they probably won't do anything before then, and you can just then say, let's go ahead.
we could maybe just keep the taxi sign.
Through you, Madam Chair, while I was in Wellington, people were saying that that's the problem with going to Kirikiri. There's no taxi. There's not even an Uber where they fly in to do business, and there's no taxi anyway.
So in 12 months, there could be a whole new taxi service.
And that's what the business is sitting at the same table as us. So there's no taxi service, no Uber service, and they get stuck. They get stuck in Kirikiri.
Yeah. So I think that's a discussion worth following up and a business opportunity for somebody. So can we?
Actually, Kirikiri taxis. There is actually a Kirikiri taxi company.
Would you like to make, what we're trying to do, with your permission, is to receive the open resolution report for November 2025. And I think business plans and other things is a really interesting conversation. But are we able to receive this report?
And on the taxi one, it's to achieve the desired effects. That's great.
So can I get a vote just on receiving this report, and then we can everybody say aye and anybody against? So where are we up to, Whānau? Closed. Okay, so.
Yes. Purposes of the library.
Yes.
You can move into
Yes. Would anybody like to give us a closing prayer for this week?
Okay.
Namaste.
Kāne kauri ki te matua, ki te whamai ki te wariwatapa. Pērā hoki te timatanga, āhi pērā ni nāiane. Āhi pērā tunu wāke ake. Amen.
Amen. Ngā mihi matua, ngā mihi.
Adrian, could you end?